Happy Tuesday, Jar of Pain babies. It is great to be in your headphones, your car stereos, your MP3s, wherever you got me. It is a pleasure to be here today, and we got a great episode. We talk a lot about holes. One of the questions is, what's the best hole? And it's a deeper question than you think. Holes rule our lives. I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to get you the episode. Thank you. You're safe. You're beautiful. You're loved. And thanks for asking your questions at jarofpain.com. We cannot do the show without you. Bye.
Jar of Pain, what time is it? Jar of Pain, what time is it? Jar of Pain, what time is it? Jar of Pain, what time is it?
Welcome back to the Jar of Pain podcast, the podcast where we answer life's toughest questions from silly to serious. My name is Matt.
I'm Ben.
And I appreciate you guys being here, watching our domes just talk about the most absurd things, questions of the absurd from the jar, which are questions from the audience, from people just like you. We cannot do the show without people like you. Last episode, we put out a plea. We said we are running out of questions, and if we run out of questions, we will stop this podcast. And you guys came through, so I appreciate it.
Oh, geez.
However, the threat still remains.
It will always remain.
The threat always will remain.
It's like a nuclear clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should have a nuclear clock with like however many questions we don't
I
have.
like that idea a
We
lot.
move the fucking hand closer to midnight.
I like that idea. Or I was just thinking how many questions we have.
That works here.
Yeah. I can't animate a clock. And one thing I really want to bring up very quick is Ben just ate Arby's. Ben, how you feeling?
Good. Buffalo chicken sandwich from Arby's is one of the best buffalo chicken sandwiches you will ever eat. I will die on this hill.
It's interesting because I find that people either are an Arby's person or not an Arby's person.
Yeah, people like to shit on Arby's, which is fine.
I think it's very fair.
The curly fries, though,
Those are
great.
good. They do have a sandwich called Meat Mountain, which I think ticks them down a few notches.
Yeah.
It's just every one of their meats.
It's like the Big Mac of Arby's.
Yeah, but it's
That
not
Meat
good
Mountain.
like a Big Mac. Big Mac is an American classic like The Sandlot
Big Mac
or
is-
baseball itself. Like the Big Mac is America, baby.
But you know what? It's not a double quarter King Royale with cheese
Yes, good
from Burger King.
Good. Well, I think the Royale with cheese is what they call the Big Mac cheeseburger in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it is.
So you just totally.
But not really, because at Burger King, when they had a double quarter pounder, it was called a double quarter pounder King with cheese. Avec cheese for our French listeners.
They had a triple Whopper for a while. I've been fat for a long time. I'm also wearing my custom dinosaur shirt today. Have you ever seen this?
No. Tyrannosaurus Rex? That's a Stegosaurus.
I know. Pretty funny, huh? Cost me $50 to make this thing. I used to work in corporate. I had a lot of extra funds. Now I work in media, so I have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to buy one, let me know in the comments. I'll let you buy this one, or maybe I'll make one for you.
I mean, I'm wearing a Lion and Google's hoodie, so it's probably worth about $50 now.
We're kind of matching
Tells you
today.
out of it. Great.
Should we just get into it?
Let's rip
What
it.
are we here to do? What are we doing?
We're here to
know?
answer some fucking questions.
Yeah, fuck. Fuck monetization of the channel. We say fuck here.
Frick. We're here to answer some frickin' questions.
No, I've given up on. No one's ever going to see this except the people who are watching at this moment. So,
What's the most millennial thing you do?
what's a millennial thing?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't relate to my peers. A lot of them I find inferior.
Well, that's it's a bit odd that you think they're inferior to you.
Because they're always whining about like working and having to put in hard work, and if they
You
just-
don't have a job.
right, but I want to do
I can't
comedy.
believe that.
I want to do comedy, so every single day I write 10 jokes a day,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
work.
not easy. It's not the hardest thing in the world by any means, but it's also like it's a very long time. It's like literally probably like 6 to 7 hours a day. I'm just staring at a notebook, trying to do 10, just 10. I want to do 20.
I
But
want
I'm
to
not
say,
getting paid for comedy, so I'm not going to do 20.
yeah, Ben, I think you go about it the wrong way.
Matt, as someone who doesn't do comedy,
Yeah,
I don't want to hear a goddamn word.
That's a good point. But anytime I do rather well with zero preparation.
That's because you're just charming, and I'm not charming like you. I wish I was.
I am.
I wish I was.
I have undeniable charm.
But I was talking to one of our comedian friends, and Laura, and she said that the reason she doesn't like millennials is because they brought earnestness back into comedy. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's never like, anytime there's like a comedy, there's always something like really sad going on. And then they put like jokes on it. And then I told her that I think that's more of like a European comedy thing that's just kind of like trickled in.
Yeah, I mean, when I have done comedy, it's kind of just my trauma.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, haha. So I think I think that's a really good observation from her part. I mean, I like avocado toast. I'm never going to buy a house, and I will complain about it once in a while.
I'm a slut for Chipotle.
You do love Chipotle.
I'll fuck up Chipotle.
I'm not a Chipotle man.
Me and my mom have a running bet right now. We're doing Wordle. And whoever doesn't get the Wordle of the day has to buy the other person a thing, and I have to buy my mom Starbucks, or she's got to buy me Chipotle.
Let me guess. You didn't get it yesterday.
No. Who
Dumb.
the fuck
Yeah.
uses T? What does that even mean?
It's like a little bitty. It's a little bitty ditty.
No, that's with D's.
No,
No, there's D-I-D-D-Y.
They can't do D-I-D-D-Y anymore because of the P. Diddy scandal.
Okay, a ditty is a short, simple song.
Okay, there you go.
But what is a ditty? Because that was also
A
a word.
rapist. We shouldn't laugh about that. He's hurt a lot of people.
That's why we laugh at it.
That's why we laugh at it. Take power out of his name.
Slang term for a breast, a nickname, or an adjective that means very small.
But what is the most millennial thing? Exist.
Chipotle.
Exist, and I have to tell everybody about it. That's the most millennial thing about me.
And that's why I also hate my millennial peers, is because they'll be like, oh, existence, and it's so tough. No, it's not. It's literally not tough. You live in America. You live in one of the greatest countries on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Shut up.
Motion to call the Gulf of America the Gulf of Big Mac. That to me is more American than just calling it America.
Also, it sounds better. It rings.
Gulf of Big Mac.
Gulf of Big Mac. Gulf of Mac.
Gulf of Big Mac title.
Gulf of Mac.
You are getting over sickness.
I am on the tail end of no longer being congested. So I'm already over being sick.
I'm glad.
But now
Was it just a cold or was it something? Was it hard?
I think it was a cold. It wasn't that bad. It was gross.
Yeah. A lot of fluids.
Your boy was bundled. And whoever can carbonate Dayquil,
ooh, that's nice.
I will drink that all goddamn day, 24/7.
Yeah, that's nice.
What's your favorite creative tool besides your brain?
It's a stupid fucking question.
It's an interesting question.
I don't like it.
What's your favorite creative tool besides your brain?
My penis. Now, we can't go through questions too fast here because
it does create.
Because of the clock. So we have to stick with this one.
Yeah.
My penis was a dumb joke. That's what we do here.
I mean, it is a tool that creates.
So it's what's your favorite?
What's your favorite? Yeah.
I have to say the computer.
Computer's pretty good. I'd say my iPad. I like Doodle.
You do like the iPad. Yeah, you're an iPad kid.
I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, but you made the last live poster on your iPad. That was cool.
This is true.
What is it called? Procreate?
Procreate.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I only really make things with a computer. I used to do collages out of magazines, cut them up and paste them onto something. I really like doing that. I still would like to get back into that, but I want to figure out a way to do it on the computer because I find a lot of weird things online, and I've seen some awesome digital collages. But I also like the act of, because I would use an X-Acto knife, and you just listen to music and you're just cutting and pasting and you're making this thing out of nothing. Is a very satisfying feeling. I'd like to figure out a way to do that digitally so I don't have to go look for old magazines. Because it's weird to go to the library and be like, can I have your old magazines?
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing to do. The library's been my go-to. Or once in a while, I would put on Facebook, does anyone have old magazines?
Also, what are you making collages or are you making like ransom notes?
I'm making collages out of the pictures.
Okay.
So, like, one time I made a shark smoke a cigar. Thought that was pretty cool. One time I made a beach scene, and the sun, instead of rays, they were gymnastics legs. The whole thing was really a tribute to ass and legs.
Man, you're just a modern artist.
I really am. I'd like to figure out a way to make a ton of money off an absurd idea. I saw today on, I was reading an article, which means I saw it on TikTok. That's the millennial way to say I saw it on TikTok, is you say I was reading an article.
That's the most millennial thing.
Yeah. And someone's glasses fell out of their pocket at like a modern art museum. And then people started taking pictures of the glasses because they like fell against the wall in like a precarious way. And they thought it was art. And it wasn't. It was just glasses. There's like security cam footage of people like surrounding these glasses thinking it's art. I would like to get into that. Like, I want people to launder their money through my art. That's what I want. Take your drug money, buy my banana with duct tape on it. I have millions of dollars. Your money's clean. I love it. I'll clean it for you. That's a service that I offer.
Honestly, the sun rays, but they're fucking legs. It's not bad. Not a bad idea.
And don't stare too close to the sun, you know? It's deep.
It is pretty deep.
Yeah, I know.
It's a pretty solid metaphor.
I'm a freaking artist, dude.
Freaking artist.
Freaking A, man.
What's the best hole?
Huh. This is deeper than you think.
Not that deep.
Depends on the hole.
Depends on who's going in the hole.
No, but there's a lot of holes. This is a hole. This is a hole. Straws are a hole.
Straws are
That's
pretty
a
good
nice hole. I've benefited from that hole.
I just got done using a hole for Dr. Pepper.
Toilet, good hole.
Good hole.
Take the bad stuff out and flush it down.
That's a good hole.
Yeah.
Useful hole.
Yep.
Bullet hole? Not a good hole.
Not a good hole.
Not a good hole.
Elephant trunk, interesting hole.
Interesting hole.
Very straw-like.
It's like a straw that has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
Shoe.
Is shoe a hole?
A shoe has a hole.
Well, and a bottom.
And a bottom.
And holes can have bottoms.
Holes have bottoms.
Sinkholes. Not a good hole.
Not the greatest hole.
It's a interesting hole. What other holes?
Belly button's kind of like a hole.
Belly button is a hole.
It's more of a crevice or a dip.
It's a gap.
It's a gap.
Yeah. Butthole.
Classic hole.
It's a classic hole.
Put the ass in classic.
That's right.
That's a rap bar.
Mouth hole.
Mouth hole.
Is sometimes great when you're eating a ribeye steak fresh off the grill, or sometimes bad when you have to take medicine.
Or a buffalo chicken sandwich from Arby's.
Yeah.
You know? It's a good hole.
It's a round hole. It has many uses. Sometimes things go in. Most times they don't come out. Sometimes they go in and come out. Like if you're sucking on a marble. Can't swallow that. Can't swallow a marble.
You can swallow a marble.
Well, I think it gets fishy in there.
You shouldn't swallow a marble.
When I die, I'm going to bury treasure, and I'm going to swallow the key. And in my will, it'll say there's a massive amount of treasure buried at this spot. Follow the map. The treasure is very easy to find. The hard part is the key is somewhere in me. Good luck getting that across the board.
You should have a picture of you attached to that clue, and then it's just like ... and then X right on your butthole.
Yeah. Yeah, because depending on how long after I swallow the key, when I meet my demise, it might be closer to butthole than mouth hole.
Or you install another hole that's like a zipper between your taint and balls.
A new hole.
Or between your butthole and balls.
Yeah.
So it's like butthole, keyhole with a zipper.
Yeah. I don't think you can zipper skin, though.
You can zipper skin.
Yeah, I guess you can put a zipper on pretty much anything.
You can zipper skin.
I think the best hole is a straw, a plastic one. Liberals.
Gonna go pussy. Okay.
It's a good one.
It's just we didn't say it, so I felt like we should say it.
Yeah, it is a good. Wars have been fought for that hole.
You know what? I was just thinking about that the other day. Either men have lost their zhuzh or women are just not as hot as they used to be because there are multiple wars fought over women.
Yeah. I think it's internet pornography.
You're telling me if they had internet porn back in Greece,
Much more peaceful time.
we would still have Achilles.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's a thought.
I think internet pornography is a problem. If you enjoy it in moderation, you do what you got to do. I don't know why I need to save face for the porn watchers. But I think it is a far more cultural impact than we give it credit for, but no one likes to talk about it because it's kind of a shameful, it can create shame. And so people don't talk about it, and it's just existing and thriving. And now kids get smartphones when they're really young, and they just have the internet now, and they start looking up weird shit.
Instead of starting wars over women.
Yeah. And like when me and my friends found porn, it was a chore to look. We had to wait till my friend's parents were out of town. We had to stay up. We watched we found some weird shit, but we were old enough. We were 16. We were old enough to watch weird shit.
Yeah,
but
16.
Yeah, but I can't imagine a 10-year-old finding weird shit.
That is odd.
One time in school, I was doing a report on blowfish.
Good hole.
Good hole. Expanding hole. It's expansive. I was Googling in my the LMC. Remember LMCs? Library media centers?
You're talking about like little computer stations?
Well, the library, but the LMC had it had computers. Yeah, it had like a computer lab. We called it computer lab.
Computer lab?
That sounds like beep, 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 beep. Computer lab.
I do remember computer lab.
And now it's just like room.
Yeah.
Everyone has a computer lab in their pocket.
It's just like a room.
And I just went to Google because Google just started, and they
That's true.
taught us to. And I was like, I needed a picture of a blowfish, so I went to Google and I went blowfish. Blowfish is a name for an old pornographic magazine, and there are a lot more hits on that than the actual fish, at least in 1999.
Dude, it looks like that fish has got to get some bush.
Yeah,
Some old vintage bush out of those blowfish.
No. As if I was doing something wrong, like the teacher would be like, "Why are you looking at?" I didn't even know what porn was.
Yeah.
And yeah, good times.
What was the question we were talking about?
I don't know. You have it in your hand, don't you?
Yeah, we were still on hole.
We're still on hold.
We were still on hole.
Wow, this is the best bang for your buck you can get on the internet. Jar of Pain, the best bang for your buck you can get on the internet.
Jarpain.com.
Jarpain.com.
Send your questions for free. How do you go to work when you really don't want to?
Well, you
You know,
brush your teeth.
you know who sent this question?
Someone who worked a millennial.
A fucking millennial.
A millennial for sure. We all experience that. Work bad, home good.
However, you can't have home
Without work.
the work.
And that, of course, is a curse that God put on us when Eve ate the apple under
Which-
Adam's supervision.
Honestly, the only war for a woman I would fight is Eve, so we could punch her in the ribs
Yeah.
for casting sin upon us for all times.
Because God said, I gave you everything and you needed apples so bad that now you get to live a worse version of life, and you will work. Your life will exist from the sweat of your brow, is what it says in the Bible.
Couldn't have had an orange. Couldn't have had a Snickers.
Yeah.
You had to fucking hit that Honey Crisp.
The Honey Crisp is good, though.
Did she do it with peanut butter, you think?
Well, apparently they had everything, so you'd think they'd have peanut butter.
Oh, they had peanut butter then.
Did Adam and Eve have the internet? Hey, it's Eve. Thank you to my one follower. It's only Adam. We're in the garden today. He's like, babe, I'm right here. I'm watching it happen. Don't judge how I create.
Yeah.
This is my art. This is how I experience things. Yeah, when I don't want to go to work, what I do, because usually it's because I'm tired and cozy in the morning, and I say, oh, it's going to be a great nap later. And I allow myself to nap after work, and I never do it. But it gets me out of bed to think about the nap later. And I think showing up to work is 80% of the job.
I say plan for a nice lunch. Plan for going out lunch.
Can't do that every day.
Well, hopefully you don't feel like that every day. Otherwise,
Yeah, you should just get a new job then.
Gonna kill yourself. So
I think there is something to be said that like you have mobility, you can get another job.
Yeah.
Now there are some situations where that may be a little more difficult, but you have mobility and you have the freedom to change your life.
Not just mobility, agency.
Yeah, that's good. Agency is a better word.
Do what you want.
Yeah. You shouldn't live a life that you hate. And you shouldn't live a life that you hate long enough so you can retire comfortably. And then you'll have like 12 years where your body is decaying rapidly. You should just figure out a life where you like it and that just live it. I like my job most days.
Yeah.
I left. I took a big pay cut from a corporate job to find a job that I liked. There are sacrifices, but my life is overall better. I have friends. I leave the house. Incredible. So just do it. Just go to work. It's easy.
Or get paycheck. Get your nut.
Also, the gratitude is always nice. I bet the person who asked that question probably has unit laundry and covered parking. I would love both of those things.
Yeah.
Nothing like being in your 30s scraping the windshield in the morning. Oh.
Yeah, that puts a little pep in your step.
It's dumb. I hate it. Why?
For sure.
And sometimes the ice is like so bonded. I'm like, how is my window not break? I'm going to break it one of these times.
Are we about to break off to the last question?
Yeah, I think so. So get that back in there.
That shit back in there.
Okay. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the jar all day. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the jar all day. Give me your pain. Give me your pain. I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the jar all day. So it was a cover of Tub Thumping. You know that song?
I don't.
It's a sick song.
Chumbawamba?
No, it's called Tub Thumping.
Oh.
I don't know who plays it, but it's like a classic Packers song. Like when you go to the games, they play it.
Oh.
And it's like I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. It's a sick song, dude.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That was a good parody.
It's a anthem for the working class.
Would you rather drive a Cybertruck or always have your home smell just a little like salmon? I would drive the Cybertruck.
Absolutely the Cybertruck.
Who the fuck? Okay, you know
Who
what?
are you?
I'm gonna say right now, the hate for the Cybertruck unwarranted. I don't get it.
Well, there's
Does
some...
it look like shit? Yes, but is it
Yes.
apparently a powerful automobile? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what else
that.
doesn't look great? Any other truck. Every other truck just looks like every other truck. Sure, this looks like the fucking graphics have been rendered. I've experienced that. I turned a corner one day and I saw the Cybertruck coming at me.
Yeah,
I was
whoa,
like,
I'm playing PUBG.
I was like, what the fuck? Is my graphics processor not up to date?
Shit, I need a new graphics card for life.
I've got to update my graphics card. Oh, shit. Fine. But, like, I would clearly drive a Cybertruck and have my house smell like fish, you fucking
Well, it's just
psycho.
a little bit like fish. It's just a little bit.
Which is even worse because then it's like one of those things where you snip it and you're like, it doesn't smell like salmon. And then you
Does
snip
it?
again and you're like,
You come home from being gone over the weekend, you're like, this is what my house smells like.
God damn it. Right when you're about to go to sleep, you're like, oh, I got that fucking salmon smell.
Yeah.
And then you're like, ow.
Yeah, I hate when I'm about to go to sleep and I've thrown away, like the chicken foam you get when you buy raw chicken.
Yeah.
And you put it in the garbage. But if it's in the garbage for like any more than like 2 days, it gets rancid. You know that smell I'm talking about? The garbage smell, the chicken smell?
Yeah.
You can always tell when you're going to wake up with chicken smell, for me at least.
Yeah.
And you're going to bed and you're like, oh, it's starting. I hate that smell. But let's get creative for a little bit.
Right.
What kind of salmon? Because if it's not cooked salmon, but it's the smell of an Alaskan salmon fresh out of the water, that's a pretty fresh smell.
That smells like fish.
No, it smells like water, like
Fish water.
Yeah, but people there, I guarantee we could go to the grocery store and find an air freshener called Alaskan
Salmon? No way. There's no
like
fucking
Alaskan
chance.
breeze, and which is a salmony breeze. It's a slightly salmony breeze title.
Slightly salmony green. I do like that title. Maybe it cooked. Maybe if it always smelled like a freshly, like I'm talking Michelin 4-star.
No, I think that's
salmon.
what makes salmon smell bad. Salmon, like
No, wait,
smelling
like
the
a-
scales of a freshly caught salmon is
Like
probably refreshing.
A grilled salmon?
No, an alive salmon.
I don't want my salmon cold. I think that's what gives it the bad smell.
I'm not. No, I think the cold salmon smells better than the cooked salmon.
We can definitely test this out. This is a theory. We can definitely
We can test this out, but we can't go to Alaska to test this out.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to do with like store-bought salmon.
Yeah. Maybe next episode I get a little salmon. We'll air fry one, and we'll have the raw one, and we'll smell the scales, and we'll kind of figure that out. Not the next episode, but the next episode after the next episode, because we record every 2 weeks.
This is true.
Okay. That's our promise to you.
And your promise to us
We're going to smell salmon.
is to keep sending us questions. No, that's our promise to them, is that we're gonna smell salmon.
Yeah.
Your promise to us, the clock is close to midnight. Midnight is no more questions. No more questions.
No more podcast.
No more show.
Yep.
So send those questions.
Tell your friends to send questions.
Ask your friends. Ask your friend, be like, hey, what's something that's just been like, what's a weird question on your mind?
Yeah.
And then steal their questions.
Yeah.
Steal.
Maybe the question is like, what does it feel like to reach your hand? What do you think it feels like to reach your hand into a beehive? I've never thought about it, and I'm not going to now. And don't use that one.
That's our question.
That's our question.
Don't steal our questions. Steal your friends' questions. Steal your friends' thoughts.
Here's another question idea.
Steal.
How long would it take to eat a yoga mat?
That's our question. Don't take that
Don't
question.
take that one, but that is an example of a question you may ask.
Right? Like, questions aren't intellectual property. Okay, it's not IP.
Yes.
All right.
No one owns a question.
Questions aren't IPs. Property's not an IP. And like candy bars aren't IPs. So steal it all. Okay.
Yeah. Steal all the IPs, ICUP.
Jar